Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate, ladies and gentlemen.
The crime of the century, and I assure you it wasn't committed by him.
I don't buy it.
Yeah.
I don't buy it for 1 second. He literally called that he was going to be arrested. We've all seen the pattern. It's like what he's saying is like, you know, even that groundbreaking at this point. But he literally called that he was going to be arrested. He's on his second life. They arrested him for nonsense. I don't believe a fucking word of it. Tate the Great. Free Tate.
Yeah.
Free Andrew Tate.
Top G,
Andrew
baby.
Tate, look us up when you get out, man. We're on your side 100%. We'll add our voices to yours, man.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
It's sad. It's like, you know.
Who even believes this shit at this point in time?
Well, we got modern day freedom fighters, and it's a little different now. It's not so much how you're being treated rather than you're being programmed. And it's basically Andrew Tate. What he's doing is that it's okay to be a strong man.
Yeah.
Why is that an unpopular
All
opinion?
he's doing is
Why
offering a
misogynistic?
counter narrative to the one that's being pushed like a fucking constant.
And I assure you, it's being pushed.
100% is being pushed.
Well, why is everybody so blind to it? I mean, not everybody. I get it, but what I'm saying is, you got these modern day freedom fighters, like I said, and they're controversial rather than idolized.
100%.
And he's human trafficking.
Listen,
Human fucking trafficking. Why would he's rich?
That's
Why
what I was
would
gonna
he
say.
do this?
If,
How much
you,
money
if,
do
you are,
yeah.
if you're like a cartel or you're running some kind of underground
Sure.
illegal operation, the last thing you want is the attention of the entire world. If that's where he was making his money and that was his primary business and he really was that evil guy doing those things, the last thing on earth that he would want is to be famous. And especially to be famous and controversial and giving them an excuse to attack him and to come after him. If he was really doing these things, and listen, love him, hate him, whatever you want to say, but nobody could say that this man is an idiot. He is not a stupid person. No. Not by a fucking country mile is he a dumb person.
Not.
You think that he wouldn't have the presence of mind to understand that what he's doing would be a threat to him and his freedom? Come out here all calm and speak on every different podcast and radio show on the planet. Take all the heat from the powers that be. Come against the current system and all that bullshit. Well, he's doing that on the back end. There's no way. Yeah. If anything, he would play ball with them so he can get their protection and get them to turn a blind eye. Like Jeffrey Epstein, for instance.
Absolutely. Well, no, there's
how many podcasts was Epstein on?
None. Because if you're doing evil shit like that, I think the point is to keep a low profile.
And people just buy it, hook, line, and sinker. But just because you don't like him, like keep a level head at the very least. Let's be rational. I mean, this is pretty obvious. It's a coordinated effort and a coordinated attack.
And the narrative they push before we started this show today, we were reading up, doing our homework and whatnot. And one of the first lines was misogynistic.
And why put that in the headline?
Why?
What does that have to do with the actual case?
For what?
Andrew Tate got arrested.
Sure.
Why do you have to add a moniker to it, like a negative moniker, to push the agenda of this is what we want you to perceive him as?
Because when you read it, they want you to go, oh, there he is.
Fuck him, lock him up
bad
forever.
Guy. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, the bad guy. Exactly.
It's bad.
Say good night to the bad guy.
Yeah, but I mean, they first silence. And then they destroy.
Well, also what makes me nervous is because this is kind of the MO. Like they have you arrested on whatever false charges, but that's designed to isolate you so they could murder you. John McAfee, R.I.P. That man was not murdered either. He literally said like 6 months before they whacked him that he was getting death threats from the government. And they're like, oh, he's just paranoid. He tattooed on his arm #whacked. 6 months later, he's in a Belize prison. They got him isolated.
Yeah. And
he fucking died, and they labeled it a suicide. The very thing he said he wouldn't do. And now Andrew's going through something similar. He's already stated that he would never kill himself. I'm looking at this guy in his eyes. He's telling the truth. He's not. If this guy turns up dead, we actually need to start talking about this. It's unbelievable. It's ridiculous. Free Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
Top G.
His freedom. Now that they've already taken that away, his freedom's at stake, but his life is too.
Meanwhile, we got what was it, Brittany Renner or Brittany Renner? What's her name? What's the one we traded?
Oh, good God. We traded the merchant. Dude, if you have a name like the Merchant of Death, we probably
freed the
should
Merchant
be
of Death.
Exactly.
We freed the Merchant of Death, but not Top G Andrew Tate, who's telling kids to be self-possessed. Don't subscribe to being weak. Don't just say that you're just depressed and there's nothing you can do about it. You know, take control of your life. Put maximum effort in. Try your hardest.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a misogynist. He's this and he's that. No, what he is intelligent. Andrew Tate understands that by casting that controversial figure, he's going to get a lot of attention. And by flaunting his cars and flaunting his lifestyle and talking the way he does, he gets the attention of the male youth, which is what he wants. He's only using that to draw attention. It's a character, just like a professional wrestler like we talked about before.
Yeah.
Once he has the attention, what he's really telling these kids are good, valuable life lessons. He's teaching them inner strength. He's teaching them to think for themselves, question everything, make sure it comes from you, have conviction, have purpose, work hard, don't be a fucking loser. He says it in inflammatory ways, but that's merely to be inflammatory and to be entertaining, so he can get that attention. If he was just calm and just talking like a nice guy saying these things, nobody would give a shit, nobody would listen. Nobody would listen.
And they're just demonizing masculinity. And